Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long. Available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. Coming soon from Gamble Comics, BC Brute.
So, 5/18/2003, we present Bad Blood to you. And of course, you know me, I like to open up big. And what's the best way to do that? Sean O'Haire, Kane, a sulking Chris Jericho versus the Samoan SWAT team.
All three? Or is it three
Now,
on three?
Rikishi's still taken out, remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Okay, so it's just tagged. So Jericho's not wrestling, he's just here.
No, he's just here being depressed.
Got
Honestly,
it.
Jericho's no good. Literally, you remember when Jason Jordan, his last match, he just kind of sat on the steps
Yeah.
for no reason or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Jericho's
Well,
doing.
his reason was he's hurt, but
Well,
you know.
yeah, well, we didn't figure that out until later, though. So at the time, I was like, "What is he doing?
Yeah.
Why is he just sitting on the steps like a psychopath?"
Yes.
And then he never wrestled again. So then I felt bad.
Yeah.
But beside the point.
Thankfully, we know Jericho's not hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he
Yeah,
doesn't hurt.
yeah. I don't.
I'm about to say,
don't
wait,
wish
does he
ill
get
on-
hurt?
Yeah, I don't wish ill on people.
Nah, never. Yeah. So these guys have a solid back and forth match.
Well, to me, it's just big guys doing big guy things.
Well, it's big guys in O'Hare. O'Hare is not as big as the SWAT team.
Well, he's tall though. Is my point.
He does have the height.
Yeah, he's got height. He's not thick, but he's tall.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they're all variations of big. Like
Yeah.
Kane's got big everywhere. He's tall.
He's just
wide.
tall. He's wide. He does it all.
Exactly.
In fact, that's emphasized in the first 10 seconds of the match when he does some old shoulder checks with old Umaga, and nobody budges, so like respectful standoffs.
Yeah.
So O'Hare was like, all right, give me the tag.
Yeah,
Tags
this is really among my favorite Kane timelines.
Iterations,
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, this is prime Kane.
2000, like from 2001 to 2003, probably is like, man, that guy really had it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had other times too. Don't get me wrong, but like, this was just one of my.
He had a lot of
favorites.
highs and lows, but this is the most
yeah.
consistent.
I can tell you exactly when all the lows were.
Yeah,
before Kane
unfortunately,
existed.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't talk about those days. Those days, well, they did happen, but they didn't happen because I didn't book them,
Yeah.
so I don't care. And then O'Hare tags up, Rosie tags up, and not Rosie.
Yeah, I know.
Tom
yeah.
Rance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, visually it'll look like Rosie.
yeah, about to say, he's literally on my mind now because of the game.
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier.
Well, like I said, I always thought that he had a great presentation. Like, yeah, he had some LBs, but like he moved like he didn't.
Exactly.
I mean, he reminded me so much of Yoko in that way.
It's terrifying.
And
Like, I watched an old Yoko match the other day, and I'm like, why is he so agile?
yeah, it's mind blowing.
Guy is 400, 500 pounds.
Yeah, him and John Tenta, I think, were two of the best. I mean, obviously Leon too. White was. Those were some of the best big guys in the history of ever. Just because large, but also able to move.
Yeah. Like,
Better than some of the just regular size folks.
which is terrifying to me. Having all that size and being able to, like, I watched old Agile Big Show videos, and I'm like, I understand why he doesn't do that,
Yeah.
but, well, first of all, I feel like if he did that stuff, he actually would have tried to stay in shape,
Yeah,
which probably would have helped him in the long run.
for sure.
But,
Eventually got there.
yeah.
And now he's been pretty consistent.
Oh, yeah, no, he's,
For his health, I mean.
yeah, I'm about to say, he looks great now,
Yeah.
but just at the time, I feel like if he was still doing the kick up, still doing like the cross bodies,
Like
like just
top
being
rope drop kick, you ever see that?
yes,
My
and I'm
goodness.
like, my God, I don't want to take that.
Yeah.
But just like if he was doing that hyper athletic stuff, I feel like he would have felt that he needed to stay in shape for longer.
Yeah.
Because especially like the way he used to talk about himself, you can tell like he very much was in his own head about how he looked.
Yeah. Well, I think Vince got on him. I know Hogan did too. Hogan
Hogan
got in his
definitely
head.
did, yeah. as I always say, Hogan's the worst. But, and somehow, someway, he keeps proving me right. And I appreciate that, Hulkster.
Consistency.
Good looking out. But yeah, no, it's a great match between two great teams. Again, Jericho just sitting there depressed. The crowd kind of picks at him, a couple chants here or there. You know, he gets up, flicks them off, and then sits back down and just continues being depressed. So, wrapping up the match, we get to the end. The Samoan SWAT team looks like they have it well in hand. They hit the double splash on O'Haire. The ref counts 1. The ref counts 2. John Cena pulls the referee out of the ring, and the ref does the slide out, falls on his face spot. So, yeah, I mean, you know, the referee's made of sugar glass, so they just shatters immediately. While the ref's out of the ring...
That man has a family.
That man has a family, damn it. While he's out of the ring, Rhino gores Tao Reigns through the barricade. Oh, sorry. So Jericho ends up moving out of the way because he saw Cena. He's like, I don't want any part of this. I'm just here to look good and be sad. So he walks towards the barricade. And Tao walks over thinking, he's clearly going to do something right now because the ref's down.
Yeah.
And then that's when Rhino gores both of them through the barricade.
There you go.
Absolutely kills them. Pieces them together. And then after that, Kane choke slams through Umaga. O'Haire's unconscious body gets thrown on top of him. Cena throws the referee back in the ring. And then we got the classic, really slow 1, 2, 3, because I'm not doing the slow.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But
we've all seen it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we've all watched wrestling. I would assume. And if you haven't watched wrestling, they do this thing where they count really slow when the refs hurt. Now you're part of the faction. Welcome.
Yes. It would be weird to me if this is what got somebody into wrestling, but I wouldn't be mad at it.
Hey, listen, you never know.
Yeah.
You truly never know. Like, it's always someone's first time at some point somewhere. So, if this is your first time watching wrestling, well, happy we got you.
Yeah.
Next match, we have Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, versus Randall Keith Orton. Coming out with Ric Flair, obviously. So, it's it's an Orton Heartbreak Kid match. I actually think you got footage you can just slap on here. A lot of back and forth action. Obviously, Randy's still very young in his career, so Shawn has the advantage, just off straight experience, pretty much.
Yeah.
Randy takes full advantage of Ric Flair being the dirtiest player in the game, so tripping up Shawn. One spot, Flair distracts the ref. Randy pokes Shawn in the eyes, and then hits that. I don't know if you remember that backbreaker he used to do.
So I literally said in my 2005 Royal Rumble review, I said this would have made a great finisher for anybody that wasn't Randy Orton.
Anybody that wasn't Randy Orton.
Because he's already set in that department, so he doesn't need it.
But like all time,
the minute every time I see that, I'm like, if you could just give this to anybody else, like this would be a great finish for somebody, just not Randy.
Just
because he don't need it.
We really set it up. I mean, think about it. A backbreaker, excellent finish.
Yeah, and the way that the neck is torqued off.
It's such a it's a guillotine too, like to a degree. Like I think
it's clean.
Yeah, like, there's like 20 moves you can do off of it, even if you didn't finish them.
Big fan.
But yeah, so it hits one of those, and obviously Shawn's back.
Yep.
Big point, especially in this point in time, because I think it's like a year since he's been back.
A little under
a year. So yeah, everyone's like, "Oh God, don't do this to him."
It'll be SummerSlam when it's a year mark.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep. So less than a year, Shawn's been back, and so of course you got to put the fear of God in the audience.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I know what's happening at SummerSlam, and it makes it even more special knowing that it's the year mark since he's been back. So that's cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
Happy accidents.
Yep. Orton almost gets the win when Triple H catches him with a sledgehammer while Flair's distracting the referee.
Wow.
But, Shawn Michaels, resilient babyface 101, able to kick out no problem.
That's funny.
And then, obviously, Shawn rallies, nails 3 sweet chin musics in a row. 1 on Flair, 1 on Triple H, 1 on Randy. 1, 2, 3. The Heartbreak Kid scores the W.
That's good stuff right there. I like it.
Next up, we have our steel cage match for the hardcore title. Scotty 2 Hotty versus Tommy Dreamer, the hardcore champion. Of course, because Hardcore Vice exists, they attack Scotty before he even gets into the ring. They're bouncing them off the outside of the cage while they're outside the cage. They're filling the ring with weapons because this is still a hardcore title match.
Yeah,
So,
and like it's not like you can get disqualified inside a steel cage. Like
exactly.
the cage itself can be used as a weapon.
Exactly.
So
all weapons are legal, baby.
So I may have said this before. I don't know, but if I didn't, I am so glad that you fought for Scott Garland.
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
Because I originally wanted him because he fits the cruiserweight division. Yeah, mold. And I was like, oh well, I'll take him because he's in the weight class. And you're like, no, I want him. I'm like, all right, fine. Like I'm not gonna fight hard for him. But the idea at the time, I was just like, oh okay, like that's fine. But then hearing the execution of
saying I did all right.
Oh yeah, no, like everything has just been very important.
Yeah.
So the tag title run where him and Big Keish, you know, stayed dominant until they got forced apart, and then obviously Keish, you know, linking up with his family, and you know we get the honorary Oos.
Scotty 2
Yeah, he's out here trying to solo title it up. I was like, man, that's way better than what I was gonna do, which was just have him probably lose to Chavo a bunch. You know, maybe Jamie here and there. You know,
yeah, occasionally. Yeah. Listen, get a big match here or there, but no. I've always been a Scotty fan because I've always loved Too Cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to have a hat where my hair would come out the top because of Scotty 2 Hotty.
Yeah, because that's cool.
Yeah, and so like, don't get me wrong, I have always had an appreciation for him, but you know, there's a difference between thinking, oh, this guy's cool, and I'm gonna make him my guy.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, the primary reason why Jamie Noble became my guy is because my prior guy got hurt, Mark Henry. Yeah. Like I was gonna put all my chips on the Mark Henry
basket, and then he completely forgot that Mark gets hurt every other week.
I was like, every time I push him, well, it's because they never pushed him, so he'd get injured lifting, and and you'd never notice how it hurt. So
I'm about to say because he didn't wrestle for like 5 months, and then got hurt in lifting, and then didn't wrestle for an additional 5 months after that. So I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah, and then but once he gets his push, then it's easier to keep track of things because he's prevalent. You know.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's on every week. That saves a lot of time. Because, I mean, honestly, you can start pushing him as soon as 2008 because he was ECW champion for, I feel like, half a year.
Yeah, probably.
If that. I don't remember. But, yeah, when I think of that, like, silver ECW title, like, I think of him, Matt, and Christian.
Yep.
Every time.
That's it.
Those are my 3 guys.
I think there are only 3 other people that held the belt.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Tommy.
Yep.
Swagger.
Yep.
Jackson, maybe? Zico
Jackson.
But even
he was
barely.
last.
Yeah,
he was like,
that's what I said, barely.
Yeah,
so that might have been the only people.
Am I right to remember Punk held the original one? So
yeah, and Chavo too.
Chavo held that.
Kane held the original one.
Yep.
So I think those 6 guys might have been the only ones that held the silver belt
version. Yeah. Wait, so who got it on the switchover? Was it?
Who got the silver belt?
Yeah, like who was the first one to get it? Because I actually don't remember.
I feel like Mark Henry held the original design for 5 minutes and then got the silver belt.
Okay.
I feel like it.
I could picture that.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually like whenever they do that. Like I remember like the giant ceremony because they always do.
I don't think ECW got a pomp and circumstance. I think it was just. One week the traditional, and
belt was this. The next week was the other.
Exactly.
I'm about to say you're watching ECW live in living color, which is reviewed on the channel here.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a hot minute before I get to the silver age.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got some time. You got some time.
Because I'm not even out of year 1.
Yeah, it's like deep in like year 3?
I feel like 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
it feels like it.
Well, you got some time. That's 100 episodes of ECW. But yeah. So anyway, back to the steel cage match. Obviously, after Scotty gets his ass kicked, obviously you gotta have a little color. It's a hardcore match.
It's a cage match too.
Yeah, it's about
if you ain't wearing white in a cage match, you ain't ready for blood.
You ain't ready for blood.
Yeah, and I know that Scotty 2 Hotty's wearing some acid wash jeans.
Oh, 1,000%.
Ready to get that blood in there.
Ready to get blood all over his platinum blonde hair. It's covered in blood. And literally, the crowd is behind Scotty all the way.
Did you know his son's training?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
how old is his son?
Old enough to be training, and he's far taller than his pops.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're saying he has a chance?
Yeah. Well, I mean, nowadays everybody's got a chance.
That's a good point. Yeah, Vince ain't in charge
running any show.
Yeah.
Because like,
but no, that's awesome. I
yeah,
didn't
no,
know that.
I was very happy.
What's his name? I gotta keep my eye out for him. Does he have a? Is he just training right now?
He's just training right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, obviously he learned under his pops, but I'm pretty sure he was hanging out at Flatbacks with
Breeze and Spears.
Yeah, Spears. Yeah.
That's a good school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to say, if any two people want to, if I ever did like want to start training in wrestling like now, I think Breeze and Spears are who I want.
The funny thing is, so I love the training I got, but like
Yeah.
when I heard that Brian Pillman moved from nowhere, Ohio to Canada to train with Lance Storm, I was like, that is the correct way to do this, sir.
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah,
It's like-
that
it's
probably would be the best thing
It's
to
like
do.
your dad learned in Canada from the Hearts. You should go to Canada to learn from
Right.
an all-time great.
Yeah, I can't deny that. To be fair, Breeze and Spears are both Canadian.
I know, yeah.
So it does work.
Yeah, it does work.
Oh man. No, that's awesome. Though. I'm gonna look that up because I want to follow his career and see what he does.
It blows me away how many generational wrestlers that I thought had, I won't say it per se, but that had promise.
Potential.
Yeah, potential. Cody Hall, great example. That guy had size. He had a good look. He, like presentation wise, I liked it. Then nothing.
Yeah.
Same with Jake Carter,
Yep.
the son of Leon White.
Yep, I remember that.
I think his real name was Jesse White.
Yes.
Like
Feels right.
again, great look. I mean, he was the opposite of his dad. He was pretty.
Yeah. Very gorgeous man.
But he had a good physique. Like
You had the look.
yeah,
You had the look. You definitely would want to wrestle.
and then nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm confused. And then now, granted, this guy, to my knowledge, never wrestled a day in his life. But the minute I saw Rick Rude's son at the Hall of Fame ceremony, go back.
Forgot about that dude.
Go back and watch because this dude is humongous,
Yeah.
and he's like a bigger version of his dad.
Which is
And
impressive.
yeah, because
Because he was on a lot of steroids.
I was gonna say Rick Rude was not a small human.
Nah.
Yeah,
I'm about to say no.
But
Rick,
yeah, it
Rick
just-
was jacked.
it just blows me away when some people never had it.
Is
David San Martino,
yeah,
David Flair.
Yeah. Some people just shouldn't have been in the business, and it's hard for like their family to tell them,
Absolutely.
"Listen, I love you, but you ain't got it,"
Yeah.
and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But not everyone can have it. Not everybody can be Ric Flair. Charlotte being a really weird exception.
Yeah.
But regardless, I just thought of
What's up?
does Kobe Carino still wrestle?
He does. He's in NWA.
Oh, okay, cool. That's why I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I unfortunately.
I mean, if you have the CW app, you can watch him wrestle for nothing. Yeah, I
I'll
understand.
find it.
I
Yeah.
understand. I struggled
Just-
to get
and-
into it. I tried it when it first launched.
I did too, and it's just
It's not the same. I feel like
It
they
isn't.
have to go back to the studio.
right. Like
So ever
when it
since-
was Power, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I think
It was so-
because it was so different,
Yes.
it was so engaging.
Exactly, 100%. So
And what they're doing now just doesn't work.
it's not the same.
Nah,
It lost the
it lost the magic.
yeah.
It really lost the magic.
I was gonna say
Into the fire.
I was gonna say they need to get back to feeling or whatever.
He
It
had
was.
to restore the feeling.
Yeah.
About to say, what's Danny Garcia's shirt? Pop that up right there. Restore the feeling for the NWA. All right. Finally, back to this match because we went off on a huge
I'm
section.
gonna keep rambling about
Yeah.
NWA real quick. I promise I'll be
Yeah,
quick.
you're good. You're good.
Eddie Kingston, Ricky Starks, who's another good example?
Nick Aldis.
Eli Drake. Yeah, Nick Aldis. All these guys made that show special. And unfortunately, they lost NWA. Billy Corgan lost all the guys that were they were the lifeblood of this show.
Yeah.
And
They all went to different companies.
and the
'cause
crazy
they were like,
thing is-
oh, they're good.
the crazy thing is, I think Ricky Starks is a guy who, if you put him back in the NWA, in a studio with the proper backdrop,
Yep.
and strap him up, I mean, I'd tune into that, watch that show. Ricky
Mhm.
Starks got personality.
Yeah. He's such a dynamic character.
Yeah.
That he probably could turn it around. Now they're gonna need a lot more help, but
Of course.
but still, that's like a good baby step in the right direction.
I was gonna say, think about it this way: Austin and Rock were on top of the Attitude Era, but they weren't the only thing that they had. They
Exactly.
had, variety in all sorts, whether it be Ken Shamrock or Billy Gunn or whatever. Like that.
Say the New Age Outlaws.
Exactly. Yeah.
X-Pac.
Tons of variety.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I think Ricky being the anchor character for NWA could be good because he's not used.
You can say main character because there are main characters in wrestling.
Yeah. I was just saying because he's not getting used in AEW anyway, so it's like, come on now.
Might as well use him somewhere.
Yeah, it's like Tony bought out Thunder Rosa's contract from Billy Corgan.
Yep.
So how about this? Just make
Answering the Deebs actually.
Yeah. So I was just saying, make Billy Corgan a deal there, Tony Khan, and let him buy out Ricky Starks'.
Yeah, because Lord knows he needs him. Who's even the NWA champion right
Tom
now?
Latimer. Charlotte's ex-husband.
No, I remember who Tom Latimer is. I'm surprised he's the champion.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's got a good look and he executes well. I don't feel like he's as good of a promo as...
But he would... I just distinctly, in this, again, because I watch Power, I'm like, I remember him as Nick Aldis' lackey.
Yep. Do you know what I remember him as? An original member of the Ascension.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it wasn't Victor and Connor. It was Cameron and Connor until Charlotte got signed, and then she's like, "You got to let my ex-husband go because
I don't like that guy."
Yeah, and so he got let go and became Bram in TNA.
That's right. That's where I first saw him.
And now he's just going by his real name because to be
fair, it's a good name.
Like I always say, it's the right way to do it.
Yeah. I'm about to say, see, I know you're obsessed with the real name thing. I don't always agree with it, but some guys, their names are just better than their stage names.
So it's funny. I was just thinking the other day. There's a guy that I really find compelling that I know would not want to go by his real name. So I actually conceived of a workaround, which is so right now EC3 is working a cult gimmick in OVW, where people are following his guidance, if you will.
Okay.
And so all I was thinking was, I'll say Michael Hutter is out of his dang mind and calls himself EC3, which is ridiculous because his name is Michael Hutter. And
I forgot about that.
And, that way you can explain that, Charles Manson over here is, ridiculous type thing. And so it's a way to they can do what they want, but I'll still do what I want type thing.
Classic. All right.
Cage match. Hardcore title.
Jesus. All right, man, I forgot all about this. All right. So, obviously weapons have filled the ring. We got chairs, we got barbed wire, bats, because this is before the barbed wire board with the Venators or something.
Well, allowed.
Yeah, allowed. We have ladders, we have a table. A lot of brutalization, a lot of fight. Dreamer pretty much dominates the match for high portions, because, Scotty got his ass kicked for 20 minutes before the match started, not that long.
Yeah, I get the point. I
got the vibe. But then Scotty starts fighting back. Starts using the weapons, using the trash can lids.
So I'm assuming Stevie and Al are still outside the ring?
Yes, and they tried to open the cage door, climb inside the ring.
Yeah, because I was envisioning, you remember that time Brian was taking out Bray and Harper and Rowan were trying to get in?
Yeah.
Post-match, obviously. That's the way I was seeing
That's pretty much what happened.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, what is it? Snow tries to climb up the ring, so he takes the chair, smashes its fingers.
Yep.
He, of course, falls off. Richards tries to climb into the cage, hits him with the barbed wire bat, gets stuck in his hair, and then, of course, he falls out. Dreamer tries to escape one time, and Scotty just grabs the cage door, and yanks it, smashes his head in the most safe way possible.
Of course, yeah.
Because I know what CTE is.
And we ain't trying to.
We ain't trying to kill anybody.
Exactly.
About to say, of course, Dreamer probably has so much CTE from ECW, doesn't even matter. But regardless,
we still care.
I care about these guys, damn it, even though I'm killing them.
Yes.
But Scotty hits a worm. Crowd loses their mind.
Is he going over?
I don't know yet.
Okay,
we gotta find out.
I feel like the big face is going over.
We gotta find out. Scotty sets up for his wheelbarrow DDT thing. Dreamer catches him, picks him up, hits him with a Spicoli driver through the table, because whenever Dreamer uses it, it's a Spicoli driver.
Yes.
So I always try to stay true to that.
Yep.
And the ref goes 1, the ref goes 2. Scotty kicks out!
Awesome.
Crowd loses their mind. Dreamer sets up a chair, threatens to DDT him, throws up the one finger, says this is it. Scotty escapes out. Wheelbarrow DDT onto the chair. 1, 2, 3. We have a new hardcore champion.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Scotty Too Hottie.
Yeah, I like it. Well, it's funny because like when I envisioned, like I said, that Bray and the Wyatt family thing, I was like, man, the babyface has to go over, and then when we get this hot, when he gets when that much action going.
I'm about to say, gotta do it. And obviously, good feel good moment. You need that.
Yeah.
In a show, especially like a pay per view show when. If I check my notes, no, Sean won, so there was one babyface.
Yeah. But you open with heels winning, you might close with a heel winning. Who knows?
Who knows what's gonna happen? Next up, we have Shelton coming out with Haas and Stacy taking on Rob Van Dam. I'll keep this one short and sweet. Shelton does win, but it is a great match.
Hey, I have a question. Can Stacy hold the United States title like Cody holds the world title?
She's always done that.
Like it just, I'm just in my like when I'm thinking about it, because these guys are defending a title that isn't theirs.
Yeah,
I was like, well, it just feels dirty for them to wear it. But if she's
they don't wear it.
If she's presenting it in a very professional and considerate, thoughtful, mature way, I was like, oh, that feels so accurate.
So I don't know if pass me the Intercontinental title. It's not the same, but it'll get the vibe. So I don't know if I ever mentioned it because.
Yeah, it just doesn't come up. Yeah.
But yeah, Stacy just holds the U.S. title pretty much like this or like this.
Yeah, it feels right.
While they're defending it. Like, Haas and Benjamin are presented as acting champions.
Yes.
But Stacy, they never touch the belt.
Yeah, makes sense.
At any point in time.
Yeah.
Like, Stacy is holding it literally the whole time. So every time the U.S. title was on TV, Stacy Keibler is holding it.
That makes sense. Cool. Like I said, just
to clarify.
It was just the way that I was envisioning.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if I ever said anything. I got to review the footage and see what I said. But, so the match pretty much goes all over the place. Whenever it's in the ring, Shelton's in control. Whenever it's out of the ring, Rob's in control.
Makes sense.
Rob hits that, you remember when he drapes people on the apron and he does that? Yeah, does that.
Corkscrew leg drop.
Yep. Awesome move. Rob, of course, you know Rob. He ECW in his blood. He got to go crazy. He sets Benjamin up on the table, tries to go for the 5-star frog splash to the outside, and completely misses it. absolutely smoked him.
So does he just eat the table? Is that what happens?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. No, absolutely destroy. And now table explodes under him. That's how hard he hits it.
That's so good.
Haas pretty much throws water in Shelton's face, said, hey, get up. You got to win. You got to go win. Shelton throws him in, hits the super kick. 1, 2, 3. And Shelton retains the U.S. title on behalf of our Olympic hero, Kurt Angle.
Oh, that's so good.
Great stuff. I don't know. Have Shelton and Rob had a match, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So they were very prolific for the Intercontinental title division, if you will.
That feels right.
So if you remember right, when Rob was Mr. Money in the Bank, he was also Intercontinental Champion.
Right, I did forget. I thought The Miz was the first one to do that.
And Shelton won the title from Rob before he went and won the ECW and WWE World titles.
Won 2 more championships in one night.
So it's like we don't need this third one.
Shelton, like, he might be carrying too much going. You know, we gotta get something for the other people. Yeah.
So Shelton was the one who.
So was that Shelton's first Intercontinental title?
No, his first Intercontinental title win was a surprise
vote. Was it the AAA?
A surprise vote on Cyber Sunday. Or maybe it was Taboo Tuesday. It was one of those fan vote ones.
The one where they rigged the votes, yeah.
Well, no.
That one they didn't, but they typically did.
Yeah, but a lot of times what they did was they said, do you want a hardcore match, an Extreme Rules match, or an anything goes match? So it's like, it doesn't matter what you're voting for type thing.
I was like, cool, you're voting for the exact same thing.
And so Shelton wins, but he didn't expect it. Everybody thought it was going to be like Batista or something, right?
Oh, that's right.
And so when he gets to the ring, Jericho's like, "Just listen to me, kid." And so they go to. He's like, "What's your finish?" And so Shelton tells him, and he's like, "All right, well, I'll jump and you hit me with it." Yep. And he just doesn't kick out. And Shelton's like, "Oh, I did not expect to be walking out as champion." But it was the thing. Like, if the fans want you to be in this match so bad, then I'm gonna strap you.
You might as well put you over.
I guess according to Jericho, Vince said it to the ref during the match in the earpiece. He's like, "Yeah, just let the fans get what they want in this one." So
Vince said that.
McMahon? Again, according to Jericho, that's like he didn't know until the match was happening what the finish was going to be, because they didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah.
But like, think about it: if Batista was picked,
Yeah,
then he probably
I'm about to
would've
say
been-
they've danced together a few
He
times.
was probably going to put the title on Batista, so he's like, whatever, this kid's doing fine. People like him, and I don't think it lasted very long. Maybe
Definitely didn't. Yeah,
not very long for the first run, but
probably not.
But
yeah.
the second one was way longer for Shelton.
Huh. I gotta go watch that match back now.
Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, like I said, in Jericho's book, he talks about how it was just all on the fly.
Yeah, I believe that. Honestly, Jericho's good enough. I totally believe. Like, yeah, they just called it as they went.
Absolutely,
it sounds like his style. So next up, we have the women's title match in the semi-main spot. Trish Stratus versus Molly Holly,
which we always treat like it matters because it does.
Yes, because the match before the main event's a big deal.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of ass whooping for poor Trish. Molly's just on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Really feeling herself. I don't know if it's the insistent ball jokes, the disrespect, or the extra babyface fire she's getting from this crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But she is on Trish's poor ass.
Well, and the fact is, we know she can deliver. They both can. And so if you know that people can do big work, then you want to see them do it.
Exactly. So there's a lot of it's pretty one-sided. Trish realizes she's way in over her head. Should not have teased Molly as much as she did. So she tries to run away and escape. Molly, she grabs her towel, starts walking up the
it's not worth it.
Yeah, she's like, you know what, I'm good. Well, go ahead and count me out, ref. I'm good. So of course Molly drives her back to the ring. Crowd's losing their mind. She of course does the classic Orange Cassidy move of continuing to roll out of the ring after being rolled in. Drops the title. Molly goes to grab her, and she hits her with a chair, getting the disqualification. Obviously, big boos.
Of course.
Rage, upset. Trish proceeds to continue hitting Molly with the chair, and then walking away with a huge smile on her face. As she gets to the top of the ramp, Jazz's music hits. Trish, of course, the fear of God is now in her, because I'm like, well, if I was over my head with Molly, Jazz is like 5 times as worse. So she's backing in, runs back into the ring with Molly waiting with the chair, drops her with the chair, and then Jazz hits 2 power bombs, holds her up, and then Molly hits the Molly go round for the final power bomb.
That's cool.
And of course, that just looks cool. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And that closes that up. And then, last but not least, Christian versus Brock Lesnar for the undisputed AEW World Title main event. To make a short story sweet, it's not Christian's time yet.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
Good.
And my thing is, so Brock was a murder machine with Jamie last month.
Yep.
And as much as I love Jamie Noble, so this is not a slight when I say this to Jamie Noble, Christian is in stature
bigger,
a level above Jamie Noble,
just a little bit.
And I would even say, in my mind, he's a touch more wily. He's got a little more seasoning to his game, where it's he's not scared to. He's not a heel, but he's not scared to.
He's not scared to cut corners when need be.
Yeah, exactly. He's able to use his.
He's been around the block a few times. You know?
Yeah, he was mentored by a vampire. He also hung out with Olympic gold medalists. He's got all the tutelage.
Shoot, not to mention he's also teamed with Regal for like a really long time.
Yeah,
so, if you want to know how to cheat, William Regal's your guy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a really good match. Christian, obviously, is not as strong as Brock Lesnar, so he just needs to wrestle better than him.
Yes.
So,
but the problem is Brock Lesnar's a great wrestler too.
Yeah, that's a great point actually. Yeah, Brock's just a freak.
Yeah.
Honestly, in hindsight, like Brock's the most unfair human being in the history of time. He really has everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. The one thing he lacks, Paul Heyman makes up for.
Yeah.
So.
And honestly, even when he talks, like.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah. Like, I think if he had to cut all of his promos, it'd be a different story.
Yes.
But considering he doesn't really need to talk, when he does talk now, it actually feels important.
Yes.
But yeah. And that closes out Bad Blood. F5 to Christian. Put up a great fight.
Yeah.
But it just was. It's not his night.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah. No, I think that was an excellent Bad Blood, and I appreciate you.
Thanks, sir.